clear to play. MiniWarGaming's Beat the Cooler Bat Rap!
Hey there, MiniWarGamers. Owen here from MiniWarGaming with Dan, and we are playing another Warmachine game. 25 points of... What army do you play? Some kind of blue things? I don't know. I can't imagine they're very good. They've got guns. They're pretty piddly, though, against a great army of Cryx that I'm using, because Cryx are good, too. So stay tuned for the armies, and we'll show you the deployment. Call them out.
Kane, P-Kane, with the Black 13th, unit gun mages with UA, another unit gun mages with UA, 200 warjacks, one's Kane battle group, one is to the UA, and 2 gun mage captain adepts.
Here's my 25 points of Cryx. We've got full unit of Vein Thralls with UA. We have Deathjack, Sorcerer's Coven, and I believe that's a Reaper. 25 points. He has a Harpoon. That's the one.
And start off turn 1, giving the Reaper some focus, and then casting Infernal Machine on my Deathjack. Deathjack's what he's called. And then the Witch Coven moves up, staying in their triangulation with the center sphere there. I forget what it is called, or at least I can't pronounce it. Deathjack runs up, spending one of his own focus, and with Infernal Machine he runs up even faster. And then the Reaper moves up, along with the entire block of Bane Knights. Now, it didn't occur to me beforehand when I was building my list that Dan was building a list pretty much to kill Cryx. So, hopefully it'll work out for me, but he totally knows how to play this game better than I do. And so I start off moving up my Bane Knights up the front, and they have their unit attachment, so they'll be tough, and that should carry them through. Dan starts his turn just kind of shifting his jacks around. He uses his unit's ability on the jack that they're jack marshaled with in order to boost, and he hits them easily, aiming at my Reaper, that is, and he does 3 points of damage to his 5. He moves his other jack here. Now they have armor pierce, that's why he's actually able to hurt this, and he fires away with the second jack. It misses. He then moves up with his gun mages on the left side of the board there. The first unit, they're not bound to that jack. That's actually, the green one is to his caster, the blue one is to the unit. He casts 2 to use Snipe on the Black 13th. And then he moves through, or moves over up onto the hilltop. And then he ends up casting Blur on the unit of gun mages. And then for his last 2, he teleports over to the far side of the hill. The Black 13th moves up, and right now they do have Snipe, so they've got plus 4 inches of range, which puts him just in range of the Reaper there. And I believe they all are. So the first guy shoots and hits, and then they have brutal damage, so he does 5 points of damage. Fires another one. This one's an AoE. It's not quite in range. It's just right in front of me. It goes straight backwards 5 inches. And lands right in the middle of the open, but it does stay in play, and it's a POW 12 if I walk through it. And now he moves up the last group of gun mages, just trying to close in a little bit. And they're going to all shoot at Deathjack. And they end up being just out of range. So I do survive by a little bit. But 3 of them will still get to attack in the end anyway. First one hits, second one, miss, third one, miss. So 1 hit, and it does no damage. So Cryx turn 2 begins. Give the Reaper some focus as well as just Deathjack. Now I do make a mistake on this turn because I realized that you can't run and cast. So I should have just cast Infernal Machine on Deathjack right now, but totally didn't think of it. So I gave them Ghostly right now. The Reaper moves up, dodging right past the objective there, and goes to shoot at his jack because he has drag on his weapon. So I boost a hit, and I miss. I then have Deathjack cast Infernal Machine on himself instead of Ghostly because I figure I'll just run over and engage the Black 13th. But then it turns out that you can't do that. So Deathjack's actually not standing up against the Black 13th. He's standing up against the Warjack that is next to them on the left there, because he wasn't able to run, he was just able to move. And so my big unit of Bane Thralls, they advance up, keeping the UA behind the wall there, along with the standard bearer. And you see here that Death Jack's next to the Jack, which it turns out the Jack has parry, so it's able to just walk away from him without getting hit. And now it's going to hurt. So he's aiming, he's boosting with critical brutal. He does not hit, but it does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage to his 3. He then moves over with his other little Jack there. I believe they're hunters is what they're called. And he does hit, and then he boosts the damage and does a few more points of damage to his 3. No, he doesn't do... Yeah, there we go. 2 more points of damage. That's what I meant to say. The other 2 little gun mage adepts move over up the side. The Black 13s back up because they do not want to be anywhere within Death Jack's reach. And so he fires away at Death Jack, hits it the first time, going for brutal. Second one shoots, hits, and he does a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last one shoots, hits, and it's brutal as well, and he does not do anything. Now he's firing with the unit that's next to just Death Jack, and they miss as well, or rather, it was the guy has 2 shots. That's what happened. Now the caster used Deadeye on the unit of Mage Hunters, and then fires away with him, or Kane himself shoots at it. He misses the first shot, hits the second shot, and rolls boxcars for damage. So he does another 5 points of damage to Death Jack. The gun mages, they step back and prepare to shoot. So they all just kind of ring. They get 3 dice to hit because of Deadeye. So he's rolling now. He's basically looking for doubles because he wants to get brutal damage, which would be 3 dice for damage. And so he's hit, critical, hit, critical, hit, critical, and then hit again. So first one rolling for damage. I believe he does 1 point of damage there. It's dice minus 9, so 7 to 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or 7. And then he rolls 13 for the next one. And then 4 damage. Death Jack's down to 1 point of health. He's got 1 box and he fails to hurt it, but then he rolls yet again, and that is the end. Death Jack goes down. The other unit of gun mages, they move up along the side there, and they prepare to shoot at the Banes. But I think he runs right now. Not quite moving, just to try and get up and wrap around. Cryx's turn begins. I give a bunch of focus to the Reaper because I'm going to see if I can try and kill his caster this turn. And so the Reaper moves up, and he has just barely enough range that he's actually in range of Kane. And I go to shoot him, I boost a hit. I still need like a 12. Here we go. Dice went everywhere, but I missed, is the moral of the story. So it turned, I was trying to drag him down the hill because then the Banes could all charge in and try and kill him. But unfortunately I missed, so that's the end of that Jack. And now the Banes all move up, but they spread way out because I don't want them getting in range by everything, or at least I want him to have to come closer to be in range of everything. And so they move up, the UA, or the banner rather, stays behind, and then the Witch's Coven moves over, hiding behind the wall along with the banner. And I feat. And then just for fun, I throw occultation on him. So stay tuned for part 2 and see if I'm able to close the gap.